Good morning, children. So, children, we are back after a long break. So, I hope, children, you have done your exams well. So, shall we continue with the next lesson? That's chapter 8 Economy and Occupations. Now, I think you have already studied about an economy in the ninth standard. So, what is an economy? Now, an economy is a system of organizations and institutions that either facilitate or play a role in the production and distribution of goods and services in a society. Okay, so what's an economy? Now, it's a system of organizations and institutions, okay, that play a very important role in the production as well as distribution of goods and services in a society. Now, economies determine how resources are going to be distributed among the members of a society. Apart from that, they also determine the value of goods or services, and at the same time, they even determine what sort of things can be traded or bartered for those services and goods. Okay, so what are the things that are determined by economies? Now, economies have to determine how the resources are going to be distributed among the people in a society, and the value of the goods as well as the services, and also they have to determine how or what are the sort of things that can be bartered or even traded for those services and goods. Now, in the modern economy as such, we have three big economic systems which are in use by modern governments, which is based on ownership as well as control or the means of production. Okay, now this we are going to study it under the following heads, that is, we have capitalism, socialism, as well as communism. Apart from that, we also have a mixed, okay, economic system. Okay, now what is capitalism? Now, capitalism is a market-based economic system where individuals own all the resources. Okay, so here resources are, owned by individuals. And in the capitalist system, the role which is played by the government is just to enforce the rules of the marketplace, as well as to prevent illegal activity from destabilizing the economy, and also to protect the property rights of the individual. Okay. Now, in capitalism, individuals control the factors of production. So what are the factors of production? We have land, labor, capital. Okay, so the factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, etc., are controlled by individuals. Now, it's the individual who determines what is to be produced, how much is to be produced, as well as who gets what is produced. Now, capitalist system is seen in the USA, Canada, Germany, etc. Okay. Now, next we come to socialism. Now, in a socialist economy, the factors of production are owned by the state. So, all the factories, then we have machinery, the plants, okay, plants here is actually, industries, okay, capital, etc., are owned by a community in control of the state. Okay, they're owned by a community which is under the control of the state. So, in a socialist economy, all citizens get the benefit from production of goods and services on the basis of equal rights. And what about production? Now, production happens according to the needs of the society and at the command of the state or the planning authorities. Okay, so whatever goods are going to be produced, it will depend upon the needs of the society, and it is under the command of the state or the planning authorities. Okay, now next is, what is the aim of a socialist economy? The aim of a socialist economy is to see that there is maximization of wealth of a whole community. Okay, so there should be maximization of wealth of a whole community, and they have to see that there is equal distribution of wealth amongst all its citizens. Okay, so wealth has to be distributed equally amongst its citizens. Now, socialist economies can be seen in Bangladesh, Sweden, etc. So, what's a socialist economy? Okay, now in the socialist economy, as I told you, we have the factors of production which are owned by the state. Okay, then the production happens according to the needs of the society, as well as it is under the command of the state or the planning commission. And what about the aim of a socialist economy? The main aim of a socialist economy is to see that or to ensure that there is maximization of wealth of a whole community, and at the same time there should be equal distribution of wealth among the people. Okay, so socialist economies are seen in Bangladesh, Sweden, etc. Next we come to communism. Now, communism is an economic ideology that advocates for a classless society in which all property and wealth are communally owned instead of by individuals. So here, property wealth is owned by the community, it's communally owned, okay, and it's not owned by the individuals, as the case of a capitalist economy. The communist ideology was developed by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels and is the opposite of a capitalist one, which relies on democracy and production of capital to form a society. So, this communist ideology was developed by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, and it is exactly the opposite of the capitalist economy. Now, communist ideology is seen in, is seen in China today. Okay, it was there in Soviet Union, but the Soviet Union collapsed in the year 1991. Okay, and of course in China, there has been a drastic change in the economic system, and more elements of capitalism have now been included, okay, in the economic system in China. Okay, now examples of communism can be seen also in North Korea, Cuba, Vietnam, etc. Okay. Next is a mixed economy. As the very name denotes, okay, in a mixed economy we find the means of production are held both by private as well as by the public, that is, by private companies as well as by the public or by the state ownership. And the market forces decide the price, the demand, and the supply. Okay, there is some government oversight to prevent monopolization and discrimination. Okay, so market forces decide the price of a commodity, the demand as well as the supply of that commodity. Now, what's the main aim of a mixed economy? Now, the idea behind a mixed economy was to tackle some of the very demerits of the capitalist economy as well as the socialist economy. Now, it understands the disadvantages of unchecked capitalism. Okay, so what's the main aim of a capitalist economy? The main aim of a capitalist economy is to earn profit. Okay, so now this mixed economy tries to tackle the demerits of both the capitalist economy as well as the socialist one. So it proposes government oversight and economic planning so that there is no discrimination against poor citizens. So based on various, planning, economic planning, etc., okay, the government sees to it that there is no discrimination against the poor citizens. Again, the aim of a mixed economy is social welfare, and it also tries to reduce the wealth, the gap between the rich and the poor, at the same time to fight the inequalities of a society as well as remove unemployment and poverty. So, what is the aim of a mixed economy? The aim of a mixed economy is to work for the welfare of the society, or in other words, social welfare. It tries to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor, to reduce the wealth gap in the country, and at the same time to fight the inequalities which arise in a society due to, say, poverty, unemployment, etc. Okay, so children, we'll continue with this lesson in the next session, and we'll be dealing with what a private as well as a public sector is. Okay, till then, children, thank you.